everyone to another Pirate National Committee meeting. We do these we do these live streams every other week, so you can see our faces and hear us talk. Um, I think that they are also probably our more productive meetings, though there is also a benefit to when we do the other half of the meetings on IRC. Actually, we'll get into that. So disregard that. That might change soon. Um, it is the 24th, I believe, and we've got some business to do. This is a very botched intro, so I'm just going to go into it, and I'm going to ask everyone for their ideas. I am Anthony J. I am the chair of the Pirate National Committee. Um, Drew.
Hi, my name is Drew Bingaman. I am the captain of the Pennsylvania Pirate Party.
Thank you for that. Joe?
Hi, I'm Joseph Honorowski. I am the representative of Massachusetts. I also go to the PPI in order to represent us on a national level and as a Massachusetts chapter to show our interests there. I also am the quartermaster of both the Massachusetts and National Committee, and our work is never done. So I look forward to doing the next steps real soon.
Thank you for that, Joe. Mitch.
Hello, I am Mitch DeVillo, proudly representing the Chicagoland chapter of the Illinois Pirate Party. I'm the captain of the Illinois Pirate Party, the swarm care manager of the United States Pirate Party. I'm very happy to be here. I got nothing special to say. I'm just happy to be here.
Yari.
Hi, my name is Yari. I'm also known by Rose Klein. I'm the representative of state of California. I use they, them pronouns.
All right, thank you. Now that we have our introductions out of the way, we are going to move on to reports. I'm just going to do officers first and Treasury. You ready?
No, but please proceed.
Okay.
I've gone through at the request of this council. I have gone through and done research on a lot of different platforms and a lot of different things, and narrowed it down to two. But I've given you the full list of where I sourced those documents, there's quite a bit. There's quite a bit of different ways we can go about it. There is a plugin called Stripe that I was hinting at for the CRM software.
To catch everyone up to speed, this is for installing the donation software onto our website, correct?
Yes, but there's other options that might be a total solution. I'm actually fairly familiar with a program called Nation Builder, which is kind of an all-in-one software where it's actually the same one Macron uses, the French president, same one that he uses, and it's kind of an all-in-one solution, which might be an option for us, so we could do our emailing, our texting, everything else. I apologize. One moment.
Dems used Nation Builder for a while.
There's a lot of other organizations that use it too. I do apologize. Can you go on to another report for a minute?
Yes, that is absolutely all right. We will give Swarm Care time to discuss it.
Yes, well, as always, there are states who are looking to form, but I don't actually believe that there's anything concrete forming at the moment. I do believe I saw a Tennessee website was created by someone who was interested in forming, just joined, so I'm going to look into that. Yes.
I have an email to send to you. South Dakota.
From South.
We need to talk. Send a message to me because I
absolutely.
Thank
you, Rose.
Yeah.
Can I get involved in that? That sounds fun.
Other than that, just in the off chance that our friends from Mississippi, Tennessee, New Jersey are watching, Texas, please attend PNC because it goes a long way for helping your state. Draw sticks, short stick, attend the meetings. It's that easy. I don't know. It's just something you guys should do. Meetings are important to attend. I'm done with that report if Drew wants to speak.
Drew, go ahead and speak.
I just wanted to add that the Pennsylvania Pirate Party now has both our platform and bylaws online, so that if anybody wants to check those out, it's just papirates.org/platform and papirates.org/bylaws. And you can check those out and steal them if you like. Or actually, yes, steal them and make them your own.
Sharing is caring.
Joe, you have a
That's
comment in Mitch's report.
like one of our things.
I would just like to continue on with my report. Sorry for the delay.
Yep, that's all right. You can continue.
So, as I was saying, Nation Builder, fairly familiar with it. It's had a lot of success in terms of what it can do. There's a couple other ones I've heard of before, but I gave you the full list. And then there's also ways to integrate it. But there's another one, I think it was Act Blue, if I'm correct, which is actually also a decent one I've heard of before. Act Blue is really good for donation management. And it's generally used by Democrats, which is why I'm familiar with it, because that's kind of the side I come from. So, I've seen it work on campaigns, and it's fairly simple but robust. And so those are a couple of different platforms. Another thing is I've been having issues with my computer over these last few days. I am actively working on doing our FEC reports. They're in my computer. They just won't connect to the system for some reason. I don't know, some weird update, but they're aware of it, and we're trying to get it resolved right now. So that should be handled. So you might get another email or two, but they already know.
Okay, thank
So.
you, Joe. Are you done with your...
So that I'm done with. That's the Treasury. As far as our international pirate movement and concerns, I'm attending those meetings, but I'm mainly just staying as an observer so that I don't really step on toes, and at the same time make it a little bit more smoother for us to transition into that platform.
Are you... This may be a good time to mention, are you aware that during the last General Assembly they voted us in? The USPP?
Yeah. And that's why I've made an extra double effort to just make sure I attend those meetings, because meetings are important.
Okay, I just wanted to... I think there was a bit of a communication issue there, and I think it was on me, but I didn't know until the last minute, so I showed out. But yeah, as long as we're on the same page there, we're good.
Liz still is connected to the international and still talks with them, and as far as I know, Liz is on good terms with us, so that's not an issue. And she still occasionally gets roped into doing work for them, I guess, is what they told me. But everything is smooth sailing on that front, and I look forward to seeing how we can assist, as well as hopelessly and shamelessly steal from them, our international brothers and sisters and peoples.
Thank you for that, Joe. Drew, I believe you had a comment first.
I just had a question, more about the different donation platforms or management platforms that we're looking at. I know from my history that Nation Builder is a fairly significant cost to it. I don't know if do we have a budget for this, or are we trying to use open source software like we do in a lot of the other things? I don't have anything negative to say about Nation Builder other than the cost. So I mean, I guess just
and that's really a question I have towards the council itself. Do we want to go for... So Nation Builder is more than just a donation platform. It covers all of the bases, and that's something that, do we really want to jump full board into a platform? Do we want to just get something for now where we're just implementing? That's why Swipe is kind of a thing. And then there's things like Act Blue. It depends on what level we really want to go in. If we're just looking for something to take donations, Swipe should do it.
Joe, do Joe, do you know how many people we have, how many contacts we have roughly in our CRM right now? Because isn't that sort of how Nation Builder, or am I mistaken on that? How they
72.
72?
Yeah,
Yeah.
after eliminating spam, we're down to 72.
Okay. So I mean, I just if I recall correctly, I think doesn't Nation Builder price you by how many contacts you have in your database?
I believe it does.
Okay.
Here's the idea behind it, though: is once we start getting the donations, it's a self-feeding system,
Sure.
and that's really how Nation Builder builds itself.
Yeah.
But it's like any like customer database or CRM software would be, customer resource management software would be. Whether we're using Salesforce, whether we're using Nation Builder, it's really just getting in there and being committed to it and using it over and over again to make sure it works.
Right. So
I am totally fine with keeping it as cheap as possible, and I think that's typically the path I've taken. Is let's keep it open source, let's keep it simple.
right.
But that's my preference, my leaning to.
Sure.
Uh,
I guess just from my past experience, when the LPPA tried to get into this while I was chair in 2018, we had an insane number of contacts because we had gotten fed anybody that had ever sent any kind of email from to National, made any contact at all with National LP, we got fed into our system. That was in Pennsylvania, or at one time was in Pennsylvania. So our CRM database was insanely large, and we weren't really doing anything with it. And we were trying to then convert over into a Nation Builder system, and I think it was in a neighborhood of like $2,500 or $3,000 a year at that level. So with at the neighborhood of 100. Yari, you just totally did the Muppet thing, but with the sneeze there, and just made me laugh. Sorry. In the neighborhood of 100, it's probably not that expensive to get started with Nation Builder, and like you said, I can see how yes, it is sort of a feedback loop where it kind of it ends up supporting itself, instead of being a big drain in the beginning, since we're starting relatively small. So that's definitely that's a positive, I think, for it. So
for the sake of time, I will probably move on to sharing this a little bit more stringently. So Yari, I'm going to let you speak.
Yeah, I think it'd be useful to sort of move on from this, because I think actually, I'm going to say I have a proposal for this later on down the road, or a potential proposal for this. But first, a couple questions, which is hang on, not writing my proposal right now. Question, Joe. So you sent the spreadsheet that Jamie was working on in the chat here, and I'm wondering, and I saw that earlier during the IT meeting. I think that's an incredibly useful spreadsheet. It's a spreadsheet, for reference for those who are watching. It's a spreadsheet that compares along a bunch of factors, not all, but a variety of different donation processing providers.
yes.
And I'm wondering if if you are using that in particular, and like if you are planning on using that to make your decision.
So I was planning on implementing all the comparison contrast at Jamie's request, and that was Jamie's form, in which I had just received moments before coming into this meeting.
Okay, yeah. So we were working on that on Thursday. And I guess my thing is, I'll just put a plug in here and say, whether it's from you or from Drew or from anyone else here or anyone else, in our volunteer pool, it would be great. We had some
Yari,
other help from a volunteer.
Can you wrap this up in maybe 30,
I'll be very quick. Yes, absolutely. I'll be very quick. It would be lovely to. I know. Yeah, time. Thank you. It would be lovely to have volunteers to help out with finishing out that spreadsheet so that we can make that decision quickly.
That is why I also made it, just to retort to that, real quick. That's why I linked the documents that I was using. But again, I'm already familiar with Nation Builder and I'm already familiar with Arc Blue. And I know Act Blue would be a really, really strong one for our organization.
Sure. Yeah. Yes. I just wanted to know whether you were making a unilateral decision as treasurer or whether you were referencing the spreadsheet.
I have not made a final decision. I'm not putting forth a final decision yet. I am showing you. I was showing where I'm at.
Okay, because if you are not making a unilateral decision as treasurer, then what I'm going to suggest later as a motion is that we have people.
How long is your description of this motion? Sorry, I don't want to
very
be...
brief.
Okay.
Very brief. Very brief. I understand you want to move on, AJ. What I'm going to suggest as a motion, and is that we break off into some sort of small decision-making committee to evaluate the spreadsheet once it has been finished, and decide based on that spreadsheet what provider to use. That's what I'm going to suggest. Not necessarily now, but based on, I guess. Yes. That's it. That's all I have to say.
Joe, do you have any final thoughts before we move on?
Yeah, no, I totally understand where you're coming from. You guys want to come to a final decision, and I have gone through all those different things. I just didn't put into a spreadsheet, much like Jamie had asked of me, but I'll make sure that gets done. And I am sorry I missed last meeting and work ended up getting in the way. So,
perfect. Right. Is it all right if we move on to our secretary report?
Yes, I am complete. Thank you. Thank you for the extra time.
No problem. Secretary?
Yeah, there's a lot of work to do, and I finally feel like I have some extra time to do it in my personal life. So that's the short version of the update. The long version of the update is longer, still very short, promise. Is that it would be great to have volunteers. Anyone who wants to work on the wiki, preferably not from the state teams here. So this is a call to volunteers out there. I'm definitely going to put this call out on Discord as well, but this is a call to volunteers out there. If you, wiki format is very easy to learn, very, very easy to learn. And if you are willing to help me out with doing some wiki stuff, would really appreciate it. Just, like it's not hard, it's just time consuming, frankly. So I am not going to accept that help from any of you, because you all need to focus on your states and your own work, just frankly. But also, if you, as always, if you have anything from your state stuff that you need to send to me, or that you want on the wiki, et cetera, or if you want a wiki account, email me, secretary@US Pirates, and I will make it happen. Finally now, sooner than later, because again, stuff in my own life has opened up a bit more in the last week. So that's my update.
Thank you so much, Sharon. I will give a quick summary of what has happened in the world of me being chair this week. Humorously enough, it is all still outreach and PR stuff, even though I'm supposed to be delegating it. We have some new press contacts. A couple people emailed us. I'm excited about that. There was something else that I wanted to mention that I did this week. That's enough.
No footwear?
What?
No footwear announcement? Ponies?
No.
Okay.
You keep your mouth shut, Drew. All right, Yari.
Sorry, I just did want to make a brief announcement about the progress that IT has made. So the IT committee met, and we did that spreadsheet that Joe sent. We also put together. We also cleaned up and got rid of all the spam contacts and completely transferred all of our contacts to the new support Pirates site, which is actually working. I am going to have a input contact form by Thursday, so that by the next meeting for sure, like that's going to be not only working but tested and hopefully advertised to people so that people on our server can finally put their new contacts in. So keep an eye out for that. I'll be sending y'all that info. And then we'll finally have more than 72 contacts. It was a lot more, and then there were so many spam contacts in there, and I was just like, just had to go through those by hand, and it was a little frustrating.
Thank you so much, Yuri. Is there anything else IT committee related?
No, I think that was all of it.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let Mitch talk about platform committee.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
The only thing we really went over in platform committee that is going to be the talking point moving forward, because this is what I'm going to be presenting to everybody for PNC, is the part of the bylaws that talks about mandatory platform positions versus optional platform positions. I want that either cleaned up, eliminated, or modernized. We will be discussing via voice chat tomorrow to find out a better solution. And hopefully next week I'd be able to present some amendments.
Okay, is that the report?
Yes, that's all I have at the moment for platform.
Okay, I will also give a short outreach committee report. I believe I was the one who at least sent the message out for this. We're still doing the experiment Yari's been running. However, I was not able. Neither of us were actually able to make the voice chat work call to start it. So I don't know how much work has been done. I probably could have checked before this meeting. I apologize, but I think the decentralized way of doing things is going well. Joe, you had something to say.
Yes, that's in regards to platform.
Okay, you can. Well, hold on. Is everyone okay with us moving on to further comments and discussion on the reports? I will take that as a yes. Now you can go.
So in the platform, I'm sure it's one of the subsections, though I'm not sure if it's clearly defined, our position on the Second Amendment and how that would read. And I think us having a national policy, especially with all the hot topics coming out, it will be another good attention getter. So if we could add that to the docket for platform discussions.
Gladly. And I do think that would be an important thing that we should probably get a nice thought out position on. So that will be added to the to-do list. Thank you, Joe.
I appreciate you.
And you.
Are there any further points of discussion, comments, etc. on reports? I know we kind of did that in the reports, but if there's anything else. Are there any objections to moving on? I will take that as a no, though. Can someone give me a time check?
9:34.
Thank you. Okay, so we are going to move on to old business now. This is about Kentucky's proposal to, I don't remember if there was an actual formal motion, but a suggestion at least to change the way that we structure meetings. I believe this was specifically whether or not we wanted to use something like Telegram, a way to, I'm struggling to summarize the discussion, but I'm pretty sure everyone here should know more or less how that's been going. I'm just going to give this to the floor, though. Yari, you had something to say.
Yeah, so I've been in some email discussions with Mariah Lynn, who's one of the representatives for Kentucky. And I think what I've noticed as I've been doing some research on this particular subject is that, well, there doesn't seem to be, at least to my mind, there doesn't seem to be an ideal video and streaming alternative that I can find readily popping out, or at least a broadly used, good, secure, open source, distributed video streaming alternative. There are ones for storing videos, Internet Archive, PeerTube, etc., which I definitely think we should take advantage of. In terms of streaming, I think Ryland's suggestion that we at least try, or that we switch over to Telegram is well founded, and I suppose in that vein, as much as there were some notes that I brought up, that Jester brought up last time, of potential contention with Telegram as a platform, which I think were also well made. I would like to suggest, and actually I think I would like to make a motion that the PNC, how do I want to phrase this? Hang on. Just a second. Yeah, okay. I would like to make a motion that the PNC do a test run of 2 meetings. I'm not sure what other people think of that. I think that should be, someone else should do a sanity check for me on that. I'm going to say 2, at least for now. A test run of 2 meetings, video streamed. A motion that the PNC do a test run of 2 streamed video meetings via the Telegram platform that are then shared via the usual channels.
Clarifying question before we actually put this to the floor. Would those meetings replace the next 2 subsequent Jitsi meetings in our schedule?
That would be my implication, yes.
Okay. There's a motion.
Well, I suppose it's not necessarily, I don't mean to necessarily imply that they replace the next 2. I suppose maybe I should change my motion to say something more along the lines of when the at the PNC's earliest convenience, because I know that we don't have our Telegram set up yet, fully set up. So.
Okay. Do we have a second for this motion? You can second for the sake of debate if you would like.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. There is a motion and a second. We are moving on to discussion and debate for this motion. Drew.
What is the advantage of Telegram versus what we're doing now with Jitsi? I guess would be the question. I'm not familiar with Telegram at all, other than the potential associations. So that's my question. Is I don't really know anything about Telegram or its capabilities, so I'd want to hear.
Yari?
So I can answer directly to that question, which is to say that Telegram has the option for group chat video streaming, similar to this, but that then has also a chat function below it, as if that is not, how do I want to describe this? The chat function below it is not limited to the people involved in the group video chat. So the chat below it is essentially public, and then people in the chat, in the text chat, can request to be added to the video chat can request the moderators to be added to the video chat. And if that request is approved, then they can join the video chat. So it essentially would be much closer to a combination of the two platforms that we currently use in that sense, which would, in that positive light, allow for sort of a more inclusive back and forth between the group of us, the members of the PNC, and the people who we are trying to represent.
It's more integrated. It's a more integrated than what we're doing now, where I assume you might have the live stream chat on with YouTube, but it's somebody has to be monitoring that, and it doesn't come into all of our stream, and that our chat is just us. Our chat in Jitsi is just us. Okay, all right. That answers my question.
Is there, Mitch?
So just to clarify, would the Telegram video be simultaneously uploaded via Telegram, YouTube, or does it have to be uploaded to YouTube after the fact?
That is, if I may answer that.
You may.
That is the part I am probably the least sure of. My understanding from I'll say that this part is at very least hearsay from what Mariah Lynn said, or here's like as in Mariah Lynn said it, and I am understanding from what Mariah Lynn said. Yeah, okay, so yes, okay, sorry. And even from what Mariah Lynn said, you would need to upload to YouTube separately later. I was just double checking it. So you would need to upload separately later. If we wanted to simultaneously stream, we would need to use some other service to capture it in real time.
If I may ask, are we determined to make it Telegram friendly to make this work for Telegram, or is there potential, like, are we just looking to expand past YouTube? Like are we, like, is this specifically to make Telegram the next venue to try to make a PNC meeting, or are we simply seeking to make PNC more expanded and more outreaching to our intended audience?
No, I think I think that's a good question as to like what the intent of this is. I'll say this, which is that right. Point taken. We have an established audience here. Where we go live on YouTube and immediately, almost 200 people are notified of that. And while we don't get immediately, 200 people watching, we still get a fair number of people, and we can announce that to them via our Discord server anyway. And we do. I think moving to Telegram even temporarily would be, in that sense, a risk. A risk that those videos would be less seen, or those meetings would be less interacted with. The benefit in my mind, or the reasoning in my mind, is simply that, and this is why I say at the so the reasoning in my mind is that we could be we could be taken off YouTube at any moment, and I guess that's a concern that I have, and I would like to additionally, so that's one thing, and that's I think why I want to make sure our videos are uploaded elsewhere, as well as YouTube. But I would the goal here that I'm working towards is to find a platform that is more inclusive of our members than Jitsi. And switching back and forth between Jitsi and IRC feels like a compromise to me. That's what I wanted to articulate.
Mitch.
So, if I may suggest, and I do apologize because I know I am the biggest proponent, but I'm also the one who is least capable of the implementation. So I apologize for constantly suggesting it. I'm a pain in the ass, and I apologize ahead of time. But I feel like as of right now, the Jitsi every other week and having the live YouTube stream is good, and that is good for the audience. And I think that having the Telegram channel would be a useful idea, but I think it would be a much more convenient time to implement the relay bot with IRC and Telegram. That way we wouldn't have to remove IRC. Technically, you'd still be able to chat log it. I suppose the only people who would be able to partake in if we went to live stream on Telegram, which I suppose we could always do for like an interactive that week. But in terms of texting, we'd be able to stay on IRC, but we'd still be able to implement Telegram. And then we could also implement the Discord to it as well, so that everyone could be in whatever spot that they so choose. And then when it comes to streaming, we can have a separate conversation towards, but if there's a way to simultaneously live stream the YouTube to say Twitch, I would really like to look into that. But I don't actually want to remove the live streaming capabilities of our meetings. I think that's if you ask me, that's too important to lose.
Joe.
I hit the wrong button there. So there is also the option of the big blue button, which the International Committee uses. And I would like to throw out there, I mean, I'm willing, the reason why I seconded this motion was mainly because I fully support trying new things and seeing what works and what doesn't. But I would like to just say that there are other softwares out there that could also do the same thing.
Yari?
Joe brings up a good point. I don't think I've fully researched or done a cross comparison of different platforms and whether they have different resources that could resolve this problem. The reason this is important to me, and I think I just want to articulate this to sort of respond to Mitch, and then I actually want to say something else really quick, which is, so my response to Mitch is just, the reason this is important to me is that, to me at least, it feels like the IRC meetings are open to everyone by definition, right? And so, anyone can participate. And as much as I agree, the live streaming capability of these meetings is critical to reaching a wider audience. And that's why I think, this is a good compromise that we have going right now. But it does feel like a compromise to me because, frankly, the fact that these meetings are not able to be at least more accessed by everyone, like, our chat is inaccessible. Like if we want to bring someone into video from the chat, we can't. If we want to, if someone wants to make a point in chat and then impact all of us from that, they can't, because like the only person who's able to monitor chat right now is like whoever can switch between 5 windows at once. And that definitely doesn't include AJ, who has a phone, right? So it's like, it's very limited in a lot of respects, as much as it has a lot of power as a live streaming setup. And I think it's limited, especially in its inclusivity of our audience, and it's in its the way that it allows us to, not our audience, I should say, our members, the members of the U.S. Pirate Party, and in the way that it allows us to communicate with them. So I want to resolve that tension because it feels like a tension to me. But to Joe's point, haven't looked at other platforms as much as I wish I had. I kind of want to do a spreadsheet like we've done for the Treasury, and if no one else has objections, I kind of want to close this and cancel my motion.
You know what? I don't care about Robert's rules if you and the seconder just both agree to rescind it.
Joe?
I have no objections, Yari. Welcome to the too much to do task force.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
motion rescinded. I do want to be
Cool.
cognizant of time. We have an item of new business that we've yet to touch, and there was something that was going to be brought up. I want to just get the PNC's opinion on this. Are either of these things too important to wait for next week, or should we motion to adjourn?
Oh,
Or
I want to get to some other things. So what was the second? So there's the one that was on the agenda already, and then what's
on
the
the
second
agenda,
one?
and then you want to discuss something about the Treasury, California.
Oh, that can be put off.
Okay.
Well, it's really quick.
Okay.
So it would be nice to take care of it really quickly. How long is the committee discussion or the platform discussion going to take?
I don't know.
Okay. Mine's really quick.
Okay. Are there any objections to just moving to what California wanted to propose about the Treasury? I see that there are no objections. We are moving to what California wants to say about the Treasury.
Well, so okay, great. Actually, I'm just going to verbally respond to the people in chat. We have a Discord server. Check out our website. Please check out our website. Okay. That said, I'm going to make a motion that that the PNC assign a small committee to review the provided table of different payment processing companies and make a decision about which platform we should use for our website.
Okay, that is a motion. Is there a second?
I will second that motion.
Okay, we are moving on to discussion and debate. Joe?
I want to just quickly state that of all the different platforms, the one that would be the simplest and probably, in my opinion, the best is ActBlue. However, I still think that it is worth the time to add on to Jamie's list and make sure we do a proper comparison so we do not make mistakes.
I mean,
You can go.
it's already on Jamie's list, Joe. It sounds like you want to be on the committee, though.
Well, seeing that this is a treasury item, I think it's appropriate that I actually do some of the work.
Cool.
I have a comment, actually. I just want to throw it out there that I do think that instead of, because it sounds like Nation Builder is a whole new system, considering we just got all of our old systems back up and running again, I think it would really benefit us to just choose ActBlue, Stripe, whatever individual payment platform works best for us, and add it to the stuff that we already use, so we can just quickly get a payment system out there, and then maybe in a few months, a few years, if we want to overhaul everything and switch to something like Nation Builder, that can be a conversation that we deal with later. That's just my suggestion. Are there any other comments? Should we call the question? It's up to you all.
Call the question.
Okay.
Second that.
All right. We'll just go down the list. Pennsylvania,
Aye.
Massachusetts,
Aye.
Illinois,
Aye.
California.
Aye.
Okay. That passes. Committee created. I am assuming that will probably involve Yari.
That's the question. Who's on the committee?
My assumption is that it would probably involve you, Joe, and Jamie to begin with, right?
I feel like we just voluntold Jamie then. But I mean, we can voluntold Jamie. Well, I don't know.
I will ask him
Try.
to be next week.
We can try.
And
I'm down to be on. I am down to be on the committee, and Joe has already expressed as much. Yeah.
I mean, Jamie doesn't need to be on it. I just assumed he probably should and/or would want to be.
Jamie is one of the people who created the spreadsheet, so
Mhm.
maybe
Does anyone else
Yeah.
want to be involved?
it would be nice to have someone, at least in case Jamie does not have the time.
And if anyone watching, any non-PNC members want to be involved, please say something in the Discord chat.
That'd be great. Tag crew.
That, I believe that finishes that item of business. Yes, Yari?
Yes, it does. A separate item in business.
Okay.
I would just like to. I know we have 3 minutes left. I would like to. I feel like this is an item for next time. But I want to. I guess I'm asking the members if this is something briefly, if this is something that should be put on the agenda for next time or for later or further down the road. Because Joe, I don't even know how often the Pirate Party International meetings are. I want to know if we should have a discussion, if and when we should have a discussion about what to bring up at PPI General Assemblies. Because I think we should have a discussion about that. So obviously we don't have the time to do that now. We have 2 minutes, but I want to know if and when.
I'm sorry, was that a direct question to me or?
No, but any information that you could provide to assist in the answering of the question would be appreciated.
Sure. So just to quickly surmise, motion to add a few more minutes just to answer this real quick.
Can we get a specific minute count?
Extra 3 minutes.
3
Okay.
minutes? Well, I don't know if that's necessary. Let's just
Okay.
continue.
Yeah,
So essentially, so what I've observed at the meetings, they are still having organization. One meeting where the last meeting that I tried to attend, they didn't have enough members to continue, so they ended up doing worksheets. And the previous meeting to that, they were looking for someone to take over their treasury position. So they're still in a somewhat building process as well. And I haven't really observed anything that I could bring up necessarily on an international level. It is very nice that it seems all the meetings are held in English, so I've been able to fully understand them. But I haven't seen how I can bring anything to the table to them, or they haven't yet. I haven't seen anything that we could bring back to the table to us yet. But the moment I can start making solutions for us both, start suggesting things, I will definitely be all over that. Now, if there's anything you'd like me to bring before them, I will be most happy. They do meet every 3 weeks.
every how many weeks?
I believe every 3, but I am double checking right now.
Just in here.
Yes, they meet pretty regularly, with the next one coming up in. Oh, I apologize. The next one coming up the 23rd of August. Maybe it's to like 12 with international coring meeting later that day. Was the last one. I'm sorry, the second platform was the 18th. And then there's an international coordination team coming up on the 26th at 3:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m.
If I may, I will say I would suggest that everyone on the PNC take the time to watch the latest General Assembly that I attended. It should be up on the Pirate Parties International YouTube page. That is probably required watching, because it does show, like Joe said, they are in a rebuilding phase. I got to watch a lot of stuff go down, but they're moving in a good direction. They're really, I felt like I took a lot out of it, but they are also deciding to restructure so they can become a stronger organization. I think that if you can sit through the hours and hours of content, that is, I do think that that would give everyone some insight. Drew.
I'd just like to make a suggestion that maybe we, when there is a meeting that Joe attends or somebody else attends of PPI, that they bring us a short report back. That that way that if there's anything that we need to know about, that instead of spending a couple hours on watching the whole things ourselves, that if there's anything important that our representative finds important that we need to know about, that they bring it back to us and so that we can discuss it and help PPI any way we can.
Bringing back a short summary of every meeting is something that seems legitimate, fair, and well within the scope of duties of being our representative for it. So I second that idea.
Okay. Is there any further discussion?
I guess just a note that I think it would be useful, even apart from those notes from our representative, to once people have watched that, or once we've received notes from Joe or whoever is our representative in the future, to think about, as I guess. Actually, never mind. Yeah, as long as we have that sort of as a general regular report. Ignore me. We're good. Yes, that makes sense. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn is on the table.
Second.
There's a second. All in favor?
Aye. Oh, it's just me?
Aye.
I've heard two ayes.
We have two Joes now.
I'm
Oh, no.
seeing double. 4 Joes.
Is that an aye to adjourn?
That is an aye to adjourn.
Okay, California?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Let's get out of here before technology falls apart.
It's about to.
Okay.
It's gonna kick us off.
No, we got a whole another 6 minutes. AJ.
Oh, good.
Walk us out.
So, thank you all for watching this meeting. If you've watched it right now, or if you are watching it in the future, if you would like to contact us, please visit our website, uspirates.org. There you can find our Discord server. Soon you'll be able to find our revamped mailing list, our crew, all of that cool stuff, if I've heard the IT report correctly. And you should get in touch with either your state party, if it exists, or you should come talk to us about making one. If you would like to send an email to us, just general inquiries about this sort of stuff, info@uspirates.org is a great place to do it. You can also reach individual officers. Those follow a scheme like, chair@uspirates.org. So you can reach any of us individually that way. Have a wonderful evening and vote pirate.
We're out.